Okay, going to do a review here of the Ruger LCP. This is Ruger's 380 version. Do a real quick safety check here so we can tell that there's nothing in it. Fire it in a safe distance, safe direction there. Basically, this is what is typically referred to as a pocket style gun. Something very small that can literally go right down inside your pocket. Don't even need a real fancy carry-in holster for this. As you can see, I've got medium to larger size hands, so this magazine actually does come with a little bit of what's typically referred to as a pinky grip, but as you can tell, this is actually more so for the two fingers, and the pinky still goes underneath. But at least that does allow you to get something on there, a little bit of meat on it. This gun is pretty flippy at the range. It's very small, very lightweight. I know the 380, in all honesty, it's not that much smaller than a 9mm, so it does pack a pretty good punch for a weapon of this size and of this weight. The one thing to notice here, you kind of saw it there, it does have the hammer right there that when you rack it, you can see how it sticks up, so when you fire it does fall forward. So that is how this mechanism works there. One thing about this, it does have a decent little bit of a trigger play right there, and then as you're firing, it's a fairly long trigger pull, so you have to mean to fire this weapon. It's a self-defense type weapon. This is not something you want to take down the range and try to hit the bullseye at 25 yards or anything like that. This is a defense type of weapon for a lot of instances, like where you just very short on how much clothing you're able to wear. You know, I live in Florida, so it's very hot down here, so sometimes this is nice just to literally throw inside of a pocket and go out wherever you need to go. But it does have a pretty long trigger pull, and it's actually pretty hard, so as you're squeezing, you've got a tendency there to really be able to you know, pull that gun off target as you're trying to fire. The recoil and everything on it, once again, it is kind of flippy is the best way that I describe it. There are some options out there for some of these for the cases and what have you. DeSantis, essentially I just bought this to be able to put that down in there. This is kind of like a back pocket type of carry-in or something, just something to kind of keep the gun pointed in one direction, so when you put this down inside of your back pocket, some of the outlook almost makes it look kind of like it might be a wallet or something, so it doesn't do a whole lot of imprinting with this. But the one thing that it does do is when this sits down inside of your pocket, it keeps the weapon pointed exactly how you want it pointed. So when you know if you put this inside your back pocket at a certain angle, it's going to be right there for you to pull out and what have you as you need. But they do make some other holsters for that. This is just a simple one that I picked up. Like I said, this is pretty much just when I'm going out with very limited items of clothing because it is so hot. So I just wanted to kind of show you that. This is a 6-round, so obviously 6+1 380 caliber. Does pack a pretty decent little punch here for the size gun it is. Just wanted to do a real quick overview there. Don't have a whole lot of talking to do about this gun. I have shot it several times at the range. Basically just trying to put some rounds through it, get comfortable with it, so that if I ever did need to pull this weapon, I would have an idea of how it's going to function. But I have since retired this one pretty much to the bedside drawer, if you will, in the safe, just to have another something in the house, another option just in case. But essentially I'm carrying 9mm full time now. My newest purchase was the Glock 43, just to be able to have that smaller frame. However, it's still going to pack the punch of a 9mm. So That is a personal preference choice. I have nothing against the Ruger. I've just shot Glock pretty much my whole life, and that's what I ended up going with. So just wanted to give you, once again, just that real quick brief overview here of the weapon, kind of show you how it functions and everything like that. If you have any further questions or comments, please do put them in the spots below. I'd love to answer them, but I don't have a whole lot of experience with this weapon other than throwing a few rounds every now and then at the range, just to make sure I still have a good feeling for how it's going to handle. So take care. Hope you enjoyed.